Hi, and welcome to NASCAR News. I'm your host, Andrew Colson. On today's episode of NASCAR News,
because of Fan Appreciation Weekend, it is the four-wide salute to the fans.
And a lot was on the line as we look to set the field of 16 for the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup.
well, if you did not watch last night's race at Richmond International Raceway, the drivers saluted the fans in the one way they know how. We have a clip from last night's race.
Because of Fan Appreciation Weekend, it is the four-wide salute to the fans. Rarely see such an impressive sight. 10 rows deep, 4 abreast. All for the fans here at Richmond, and a great turnout at Richmond International Raceway tonight as we get ready for the final race before the chase.
Fans have played such a big part of this sport. They're so loyal, so dedicated, so committed. Look at the pit crews holding up the signs. Thank you, fans. Really neat.
All up and down pit road, the crews standing on pit road wall as they go 4 wide in front of the grandstands.
In other news, the 16 drivers for the NASCAR Chase for the Sprint Cup have been finalized. Here are your 16 drivers for this year's Chase for the Cup.
Story was the chase, and there were some fresh faces in this year's field. And we have 4 first-time chasers in the field with Kyle Larson, Sunoco Rookie of the Year candidate Chris Buescher, Chase Elliott, and Austin Dillon. Now the field of 16 is officially set, and the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series turns their focus to Chicagoland Speedway.
And if you missed last night's race, here's a clip of some of the stuff what happened.
Denny Hamlin was your Coors Light pole sitter, and he led the field to green and shot to the lead early. But on lap 11, Ryan Blaney had his chase bubble burst. The driver of the Wood Brothers 21 got into the wall hard early on in the race. Blaney, who needed a win to qualify for NASCAR's playoff, would see those chances end in the early running. On lap 95, Jeff Gordon was involved in an incident with Ryan Newman and Chase Elliott. Gordon comes down on Newman and gets loose and into his teammate Chase Elliott, who was also fighting for a chase spot. Elliott gets into the wall, and we would see another chase hopeful have trouble in the early going at Richmond. Lap 346, AJ Allmendinger spins, brings out the yellow, just under 50 laps to go. Ryan Newman and Tony Stewart make contact. That wreck collects David Reagan, Dylan Lupton, and Carl Edwards, and that would end any chance of Ryan Newman making the chase, but it helps Chris Buescher's cause because David Reagan's day would end after that wreck as well. Ryan Newman was hot when he got out of the car and said some things you can't take back.
I was clearly inside of him getting into turn 1. He cut across my nose. I was on the brakes, on the apron, and I hit him coming off turn 2, but only because I'd gotten loose. I was on the apron, and next thing I know, he's driving across my nose on the back straightaway because he's Tony Stewart, because he thinks he owns everything. So it's unfortunate, but shouldn't expect anything less from him.
I was the one that wrecked myself doing it, but it wasn't my intention to get him caught up in it. But I just, it's the 3rd time I got run into by him in one race. I mean, what do you expect? So there's a lot of guys that after the first time would dump somebody for it. So it's got a right to be mad about it, but I got mad for what he did to me too. I mean, he wasn't innocent in it like he's acting like. I mean, he never said once that he run into me 3 times. So his version of how he was driving his car and mine are a little bit different.
Denny Hamlin gets the win at his hometown track.
Thanks for watching NASCAR News. I'm your host, Andrew Colson, and have a good night.